Hello, everyone. Welcome to our session on Zoho Analytics, the GenAI powered BI platform. I'm Tarun and I'm excited to take you through the generative AI and predictive analytical capabilities within the tool. In this session, we'll see how Zoho Analytics uses GenAI to let you interact with your data in plain, simple language, generate insights and reports instantly, and even uncover patterns you might have missed. We'll also explore predictive capabilities using AI to analyze the past trends and forecast what's next, helping you move from reactive decisions to proactive strategies. By the end of this webinar, you'll see how a Gen AI powered BI platform can make analytics faster, smarter, and more intuitive than ever before. So let's get started. Let's take a quick look at our agenda. So we'll begin with Ask Zia. We'll explore how Ask Zia enables conversational analytics, instantly transforming your questions into visual reports, insights, and smart recommendations. We'll also see how diagnostic analytics helps us understand the reason behind the past performance and improve decision making. Next, we'll delve into the integration of OpenAI with our RAG framework, enhancing our ability to derive actionable insights. We'll then explore Auto Analysis 2.0, which automates data insights and simplifies the analytics process. Next, we'll see the predictive models, showcasing how they help us anticipate future trends and make informed strategic decisions. We'll also explore how data science and machine learning capabilities within Zoho Analytics empower you to build, train, and deploy models directly within the platform. We'll finally discuss the Model Context Protocol, an open standard that seamlessly connects AI system with external tools, expanding analytical capabilities. Now let's talk about one of the most powerful AI capabilities inside Zoho Analytics, Ask Zia. Zia has been a part of the platform for quite some time, and many of you may already know it as our conversational AI assistant that can instantly turn your raw data into reports and dashboards. But here's where it gets even more exciting. We have made significant enhancements. Zia can now go beyond than just generating charts or tables. It can analyze your data, identify patterns, and even suggest recommendations on what actions you can take to improve business performance. So think of it as having a data analyst available 24/7. You can simply type or even speak your questions like order quantity by ship mode and by order priority. Zia instantly delivers a visual report, but it doesn't stop there. It can offer diagnostic and predictive insights. Whether you want to break down sales by region or identify your best performing products, Zia has you covered. Rather than just telling you, let me show you what Zia can do. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through a live demo where we will ask Zia a few business questions and see how quickly it turns them into actionable insights. Let's get started. So I'm now asking Zia, what is the monthly sales contribution by channel in the last 12 months? Now Zia is generating the report for me. So I have a line chart that shows the sales generated across different sales channels such as e-commerce, retail store, and wholesale. Now, if you see carefully, there has been a drop in the sales during June 2025. So there has been a significant drop in sales from e-commerce as well as from wholesale. Now, as a business owner, I would love to understand why this happened. So let me ask Zia, why did my sales drop in June 2025? So Zia is understanding the prompt and it's analyzing. So here are the reasons for the decrease in amount. So one is because of the sales channel wholesale. So my sales significantly dropped to 78% because of wholesale. Also, the product category soap didn't do well. So now, as a business owner, I have identified the reason for the decrease in sales. Now, I want to know how I can fix this. I would love to understand how to improve the sales. I'm asking how do I improve my sales to Zia. Zia is giving the recommendations. So it's asking me to capitalize on the high demand for the product Pure Joy. So basically, Zia is recommending me to increase the ad expenditure for Pure Joy by 15%, followed by which it's asking me to reduce the discount for the product Herbal Fresh by 10% because it has lower conversions. And then I have a good engagement for the product Grow Plus. So Zia is asking me to boost the marketing efforts for the product Grow Plus by 20%. And then it's asking me to increase the inventory for the product Body Wash by 25% to meet the growing demand. So these are the recommendations which are going to be very useful for me to improve my sales. So now what I want to do is I want to export the initial chart that has been generated by Zia. So I'm just going to type export the about chart, and here we go. I have the PDF file. I can download it. And now I want to share the same chart to my colleague Shiva. So I'm just typing share the chart to Shiva. Zia is performing the operation. So it's now sharing the report. So the view has been successfully shared. Now what I would like to do is I want to create a slideshow with my sales metrics. So instead of doing it manually, I'm going to ask Zia to do the same for me. I have just typed create a slideshow with my sales metrics, and Zia is understanding the prompt, and it came up with the presentation. I can very well go ahead and present this. So Zia is giving me the answers instantaneously. So now where I'm going is I'm going to the dashboard building interface. So when you're building dashboard, you can also see Zia on the top right. So what you can do is now with the help of this option, you can generate the dashboards through Zia. Now let me generate a sales dashboard with the help of Zia. So I'm going to ask Zia to create a sales dashboard with key regional metrics for US. And here we go. We have the dashboard. Now I want to change the theme to black. I'm simply typing change the theme to black, and the changes are getting reflected in the dashboard. So in the similar way, you can follow an agentic AI approach to get the results that you want. So this is how the new enhanced Ask Zia works. Having spoken about Ask Zia, let's shift our focus to the next topic. So now we will talk about diagnostic insights. So diagnostic analytics is all about answering the why behind our data. So by leveraging the key driver analysis, we can pinpoint the factors influencing our performance. So this helps us not just understand what happened, but why it happened. So here are some key features we'll explore. We look at how contextual intelligence enhances our understanding by providing relevant insights in the right context, ensuring our analysis are always relevant. Data's capabilities allows us to present these insights in a narrative format, making complex data more accessible and easier to understand. I will also showcase the power of visual Zia insights, which helps us quickly identify the trends and patterns through engaging visuals. Finally, we'll touch upon how configurable insights allows us to tailor the analytics experience to our specific needs, ensuring we get the most relevant data at our fingertips. I will now demonstrate these features and actions, showing you how easily we can uncover insights through diagnostic analytics. Let's take a quick look at it. So I have a report, sales versus SAT spent. I'll talk about this report first. So this report shows me the sales generated and the amount I spent for ads. So consider me to be a business owner. I have spent some amount to run ads like Facebook ads and Google ads. Out of this, I was able to generate sales. So the pink bar refers to the ad expenditure and the blue bar refers to the sales amount generated. So this report in general shows me the ad expenditure and the sales generated across different months and year. Presenting this report, I can just talk about the ad expenditure and the sales generated because this report just gives me a high level overview of this information. Now, if I want to dive deep and talk about deeper inferences, I need to know more, right? So that is when I'm going to use Zia Insights. So Zia Insights is a feature that we have been having for a longer period of time. So when you select Insights, Zia will bubble up the inferences for the specific report. So let me generate some insights. Now Zia Insights is showing me the highest inclining and the declining points for ad expenditure as well as sales. So it generally shows how much amount I spent and when did I spend the most and when did I spend the least for ads, and similarly when was my sales high and when was my sales low. So this will be very useful when you're presenting the report to your management. Now if you look at the insights for total sales, I can see in June 2025 the sales has been decreased by 72%. So now as a business owner, I just want to dive deep and understand why this happened. I'm going to select diagnose. So this is the diagnostic analytics. So I'm going to select diagnose. And now the tool is processing. So it's diving deep to understand why sales has decreased. As you can see the infographics, in May, I was able to generate sales of around $1.2 million, which got reduced to 344,000 in June 2025. So there is a reduction of 72% compared to the previous month. And these are the top 4 drivers impacting the total sales. Out of the top 4 reasons, I can see Facebook ads to be one among the reason for the sales drop. Out of the 72% of reduction in sales, 29% was because of Facebook ads. And now I want to know more why this happened. So I'm selecting know more. Here we go. So these are the top offsetters. So there are 2 types of users who are accessing the Facebook ads: the mobile users and the desktop users. Through the people accessing the Facebook ads through mobile, I was able to generate around $157,000 in May 2025, and this got significantly reduced to just $5,000 in June. It's a drop of almost 97%, which is alarming. So I have the similar problem for desktop users. In May, the sales was around $74,000, which got reduced to just $8,000, a significant drop of 89%. Now I was able to dive deep and find the reason for reduction in sales because of Facebook ads. As a business owner, what I'll do is I'll stop investing in Facebook ads and I'll look for alternatives. I'll try to change my strategy by investing in LinkedIn ads and Google ads and see how the sales is performing. So this is how you can leverage the diagnostic insights capabilities offered by Zoho Analytics to dive deep and understand the root cause of the problem. So all the inferences present here are in the form of text. If you want these inferences to be in the form of infographics, you can very well choose the chart icon. We have the inferences in the form of visually appealing reports. You can also diagnose for any specific report and see what happened. So whenever you're generating insights, the tool will consider the columns used in the report to come up with the inferences. You can also configure the Zia insights. So you can customize the columns used. So you'll be getting additional inferences if you add more columns. So now I'll speak about how you can configure Zia insights. So to configure Zia insights, you can go to the settings. And in the settings, we have explained by columns. So by default, these are the 4 columns used in this report: the campaign date, which is present in the x-axis, the sales and the ad spend. along with the ad source. So these are the 4 columns, and all the inferences we got so far are with the help of the columns, these columns. So if you want, you can exclude any column or add a new column as per your requirement. And you can take a look at the insight categories. For contribution analysis, I have almost selected all the options. So you can include or exclude any option as per your requirement. As I have selected extreme value, min and max, the insights showed me the highest performing month, the month where I got the highest sales and the month where I got the least sales. Similarly, when I spent the most for ads and when I spent the least for ads. So my contributional analysis options help me to come up with the insights accordingly. So after selecting these options as per your requirement, you can select save. So in this way, you would be able to configure the ZIA insights and get the inferences accordingly. We saw how the diagnostic insights work, right? Having spoken about this, we will now go to the next topic. Let's explore the integration of OpenAI with RAG. So this integration offers a seamless experience through OpenAI APIs, allowing us to bring powerful AI capabilities directly into our analytics workflow while adhering to our bring your own key BYOK policy for security. Integration serves as a contextual assistant, helping users create formulas and SQL queries easily. It also aids in finding public datasets, streamlining the data exploration process. Importantly, this integration ensures that no sensitive data is shared. It operates only using metadata. So this means we can harness the AI's power without compromising the data privacy. We leverage RAG-based augmentation. RAG is retrieve and generate. So this enhances our data analysis capabilities by allowing AI to retrieve the relevant information and generate insights tailored to our needs. Now let's move to a live demo where I'll show you how to use this integration to ask ZIA for the SQL query syntax I need. So I'll just illustrate how intuitive and powerful this feature can be. Let's get started. First step, you have to integrate your OpenAI account with Zoho Analytics. To set up the integration, you need to go to the organization settings. Once you're there in the organization settings, you have to go to the controls and configuration where you can find the GenAI configuration option. So you have to select this and you need to paste your OpenAI secret key and select save. Once you do this, OpenAI account will be integrated with Zoho Analytics. Followed by this, you would be able to leverage this integration. So now I have a workspace. So in this workspace, I have imported the sales data and the target table. Sales data has the salesperson information along with the sales generated. It also has other columns, and I have the target table, which has the target information for the salespeople. So this is the target allocated to the salespeople. Now I basically want to do a sales versus target analysis. I want to know if the salespeople present here have achieved the target or not. But the sales numbers are present in the sales table. The target table only has the target allocated. Now, in order to know whether the salespeople present here have achieved the target or not, I need to write a query table to join these two tables, sales and target. So I'm not a tech savvy, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make use of the OpenAI integration to come up with the query table I need. I'm going to select a query. And here you can see the Ask ZIA query suggestion. So I'm going to pass the prompt. I'm going to type what I need. I'm going to type write a query to join sales table and the target table I want the sales amount from sales table and the target information along with the sales person name from the target table. Want to do a sales versus target analysis. Now I'm selecting generate SQL. So now I have the query instantaneously getting generated. So let's execute this. So I have the result. I'm going to save this query table. I'm going to save this as sales versus target. Now let's take a quick look at this table, right? So I have the table which has the salesperson name, target, and the sales generated by the salespeople. Now to know if the salespeople have achieved the target or not, I'm going to build a report on top of this. So let me just drag and drop the columns accordingly, salesperson name, sales numbers, and the target. So looking at this report, I can very well see that the salespeople are yet to achieve the target. In this way, you can leverage the OpenAI capabilities to come up with the queries that you want. Now I'll go back to the sales table. So in the sales table, I have the sales column and the cost column. Now I want to find out the profit. The simple mathematics is sales minus cost, but you assume that I'm not a tech savvy. So I don't even know how to find the profit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make use of the OpenAI integration again. When you're building any formulas, you can also use Ask Zia help. You can just type the formula that you need. I'm just typing help me find the profit. I have sales and cost in my table. There we go. I have the formula ready. It's sales minus cost. And I'm going to name this formula as profit and select save. So here we go. I have the profit column getting reflected in my table. So this is how you can leverage the OpenAI capabilities to come up with formulas as well as complex SQL queries. So being said this, I would like to move to the next topic. Now let's shift gears and look at how Zia can be used within Microsoft Teams, which we refer to as pushdown intelligence. Now let's dive into a quick demo to see how this works in practice. So this integration allows us to bring the power of analytics directly into our collaborative environment, making it easier for teams to access insights and data-driven recommendations without leaving their workflow. As you can see this video, I'm just using Zia within Microsoft Teams. In case if you want to know more about how this integration can be done, please do let me know. I'll be happy to send you the help document. Now we'll talk about the next feature. So this is Auto Analysis 2.2. Auto Analysis is a feature that we had earlier. Ideally, it is a feature that comes up with a list of reports and dashboards automatically depending upon the data imported. So the auto analysis used to work depending upon the predefined algorithm. Now we have made some enhancements to the existing auto analysis. In the new version of auto analysis, you can customize the columns being used for coming up with the reports. If you're not happy with the dashboards generated, you can customize the columns. So the algorithm emphasizes the columns that you have selected and it comes up with the new set of reports and dashboards. Now let's take a quick look at how this works. So I have the sales table. I have the sales column, cost column, profit column. These are the number columns. So these number columns are spread across different dimension columns like date, region, product category, product customer name. So now I'm going to use the auto analysis feature. Now the tool is generating the reports and dashboards for me. So I have 4 dashboards. And here you can see the option customize columns used. You can select this to customize the columns. In the metrics column, I don't want the profit, so I'm deleting it and I'm selecting regenerate. So here we go. Now I have 3 dashboards: sales analysis dashboard, cost analysis dashboard, sales versus cost dashboard. If you're happy with the result, you can go ahead and select save. So this is how the new auto analysis works. So we saw how the auto analysis 2.0 works. Now we look at the next slide. So what's the next slide? So this is ZIA suggestions. This is an interesting feature. So whenever you're building any report, you would be able to see the suggestions at the top right. So ZIA is going to suggest what chart type will work best for the report that you're building. So according to the suggestions, you can select any chart type and select save. So this is something that I also wanted to highlight in today's session. So we saw how the ZIA suggestions work. Now let's shift our focus to the next slide. Now we are going to talk about the predictive capabilities the tool has to offer. So here, under the predictive capabilities, we have anomaly detection, clustering, and multivariate forecasting. Let's first talk about anomaly detection. So what is anomaly detection? For starters, anomaly is nothing but something unusual. Anomaly detection is obviously detecting something unusual. This anomaly detection refers to the process of identifying patterns in data that do not conform to the expected behavior. So this is used to detect unusual or unexpected events in data sets that may indicate errors, fraud, or significant changes in data trends. Let me give a use case. In the finance sector, anomaly detection is commonly used to identify fraudulent transactions. For instance, if a credit card is suddenly used for a large purchase in a different country shortly after being used in a familiar location, this transaction might be flagged as an anomaly for further investigation. Now, let me quickly show you a demo of how the anomaly detection works. I have a report. So this is the cart abandonment value trend report. So I'll talk about this report first. What is cart abandonment value trend? So first of all, what is cart abandoned value? So you go to an e-commerce platform like Amazon or Flipkart. You add items to the cart. After adding the items to your cart, you decide not to purchase. The total value of the items in your cart is the cart abandoned value. Now this report shows the cart abandonment rate over different months and year. I want to run an anomaly detection test on top of this report. So basically, I just want to flag the data points whenever the cart abandonment rate crosses 34%. Either it goes up by 34% or it goes down by 34%. I want to flag those data points as anomalies. Now I'm going to explain how you can run an anomaly detection test. To do this, you can just select the analysis button on the top and choose anomaly. Selecting the column which is abandoned checkout amount. You can give the anomaly a name and you can choose the model. If you are a beginner, you can stick with the machine learning based RPCA model. If you are a data scientist, you can probably choose a custom statistical model that works for you. So we support IQR, Z-score, percentile. You can choose any model that works for you. I'm going to stick with ML based RPCA and I'm going to give the deviation. I'm entering the deviation as 34%. Whenever the cart abandonment rate goes up by 34% or it goes down by 34%, I want to flag those data points as anomalies for further investigation. So I'm giving the direction as both. You can also choose the marker shape as per your requirement. Select the colors and choose apply. So here we go. In this report, I have 3 anomalies. The one was during February 2023, where the cart abandonment rate went down by 34%. In August 24 and September 24, the cart abandonment rate went up by 34%. So I have successfully detected the anomalies present in this report. I'm going to save this. So in this similar fashion, you can do an anomaly detection test in your report. So we saw how the anomaly detection works. Now we'll shift our focus to the next topic, which is clustering. So what is clustering? Clustering is an unsupervised machine learning technique that involves grouping a set of objects based on their similarities. So the goal is to divide the data into clusters where objects in the same clusters are more similar to each other than those in the other clusters. A simple use case is marketing, right? In marketing industries, clustering can be used to segment the customers based on purchasing behavior. For example, a retail company might analyze its customers' data to identify distinct groups like frequent shoppers, occasional buyers, and those who only purchase during sales, enabling targeted marketing strategies for each segment. Now, let me show a quick demo of how clustering works. So here I have a report. I will talk about this report first. On the x-axis, you can see the discount rate. On the y-axis, you can see the cart abandonment rate. Now, what I infer from this report is, whenever the discount rate is high, the cart abandonment rate is low. Whenever the discount rate is low, the cart abandonment rate is high. I'm mousing over a group of data points. So these are people who ended up purchasing the products because the discounts are high. I'm now mousing over another group of people. So these are a group of people who ended up not purchasing the products because the discount rate was very low. You can see the x-axis, the discount rate is between 0 to 6% for this group of people because of this the cart abandonment rate is high. Now I want to do a cluster analysis and group these data points into 3 clusters. How do I do that? I can do that by simply selecting the analysis and I can choose cluster analysis. So now I'm adding the clusters. So you can choose the model. So better to stick with the auto model. So the tool will choose the model that best fit your data set. Or you can also choose the other models. So we support k-means, k-modes, k-prototypes. I'm going to stick with the auto model. And factors are nothing but the columns. So these two are the columns that's been used in the report, discount rate and the cart abandonment rate. If you want, you can include more columns or you can exclude any column. You can enter the number of clusters. So I want to group the data points into 3 clusters. So I'm going to stick with 3. You can also choose the normalization. So I'm going to stay with min-max scaling and I'm going to select apply. Here we go. I have grouped the data point into 3 clusters. So cluster 3, a group of people who purchased the products because the discount was high, and cluster 1, a group of people whose purchase is moderate, right? And cluster 2 are the group of people who didn't purchase the products because the discount rate was very low. Now what I'll do is, Whenever the discount rate becomes high, I'll send a customized campaign to cluster 2. So they are notified about the increase in discount rate. So there are chances for these people to purchase the products. This is how you can leverage the cluster analysis. So we saw how the cluster analysis works. Now let's shift our focus to the next topic. The next topic is multivariate forecasting. So multivariate forecasting is a statistical technique that uses multiple variables to predict the future values. So it considers the relationships and interactions between various factors to create more accurate forecast. So let me quickly give you a demo of how the multivariate forecasting works. So I'm going back to the existing workspace where I have the sales data. Now I'm going to create a simple report within the workspace, a simple report to find the month and year-wise sales. I'm going to drag and drop the columns into the designer shells accordingly. I want to find out the month and year-wise sales. Here we go. So this is my sample data. I have data only up to March 2019. Now what I want to do is I want to forecast the future depending upon the previous trend. So to forecast, you can choose the analysis on top and select forecast. So I'm adding the forecast. I want to forecast the sales for next 5 months. I'm selecting sum of sales. And here you can give the forecast length. You can see an option called influencing factors. With the help of this option, you can do a multivariate forecasting. If I feel that cost will be an influencing factor for my future sales, I can select this as an influencing factor. So I'm going to remove it. I'm just going to do a univariate forecasting for now. But in order for you to do a multivariate forecasting, you can make use of the influencing factors option. You can also select a custom statistical model. So we support ARIMA, exponential smoothing, seasonal travelers decomposition, and regression. So data scientists can choose any model that works for them and do the forecasting. I'm going to stick with the auto model, so the tool will choose the best model that will fit my data. You can also give the confidence percentage. So I'm going to give the confidence percentage as 75 and I'm going to select apply. So this is how my forecast will be in the future. In June, I can expect sales of around $32,801. And I'm 75% confident that the numbers will fall between the range 20,180 to 45,422. In this similar fashion, you can do a forecasting. You can either do a univariate forecasting or a multivariate forecasting. As mentioned earlier, if you want to do a multivariate forecasting, you can include the influencing factor. We saw the predictive capabilities present within the tool. We saw how anomaly detection, clustering, and multivariate forecasting works, right? Having spoken about the predictive AI models, we will move to the next slide. We will now look at the data science machine learning features available in Zoho Analytics. So here we have AutoML and Code Studio. We'll begin with AutoML. So what is AutoML? AutoML is automatic machine learning. So this is perfect for users who may not have coding expertise, but still want to create machine learning models. With this AutoML, you can build models using a no-code assistant, making machine learning more accessible to business analysts, decision makers, and data enthusiasts without needing a data science background. Now let's take a quick look at how this AutoML works. So now first I'll talk about this data. I have the customer churn data. So assume me to be a business owner. So this table has the list of customers who churned from my business. In this table, I have columns like attrition flag, education level, marital status, credit limit, income category, and so on. Now, with the help of this data, I want to predict how many customers will stay with my business or leave my business in the future. So I want to do a customer churn prediction. To do this, I'm going to leverage the auto ML feature. So I'm not a tech savvy. I'm going to use the automatic machine learning. To access auto ML, you can go to the more option, select auto ML. So here you can create the analysis. So I'm going to select create new analysis, and you can see the model type. We have prediction model, clustering model. So I'm going to do a prediction. I'm going to select the training table. Training table is the customer churn data. And now the target column is the attrition flag. So this attrition flag column has the information whether the customer churned or not. So I'm going to use this as target column and I'm going to select create. So I'm giving the analysis a name. The training table in the target column, and here you can see the feature list. Feature list, this is nothing but the columns present in the table. So these are the columns that the tool is taking into consideration to predict the future. For predicting the customer churn, these columns like transaction amount, number of transactions, card category, credit limit, all of these are very important. So the tool is taking these columns into consideration. So this works upon the principles of permutation and combination. So it combines and permutes the columns to predict whether the customer would stay with my business or if the customer is going to leave. You can add additional columns if needed by selecting add features. So the prediction type is going to be classification, and then you can see the algorithm. By default, the tool is suggesting decision tree classification and random forest classification to be the best models for predicting the customer churn. You can also add new models on top of this. I'm going to choose the gradient boosting classification and select OK. So these are predefined algorithms. So you can just leverage it and do the prediction. Now I'm going to select create and train. So you can choose the server option as per your requirement. If you're training a large data set, I would suggest you to go with the 32 GB. I'm going to stick with 8 GB and I'm going to select save and train. So this process will happen for some time. So to save some time, I already ran this analysis and kept the results ready. I did the exact same analysis, and here we go. Once the analysis gets over, you'll be able to see the model name, model score, along with the training status. Apparently, the models suggested by the tools have high model score. Decision tree classification has almost 100. Random forest also has a good score. Apparently, my choice is pathetic. You can see the model score, it's 0.90. So I'm not going to look at this model. So I'll better go ahead and look at decision tree classification. So I'm selecting the model and I can see the model summary. I can see the columns used to predict the churn, feature list, and I can see the model type, algorithm, model score. And you can go to the explanation to see how each column is playing a role in predicting the future. I can identify that transaction amount is one of the important feature or important column that plays a vital role in predicting the churn. So next comes the amount change quarter to quarter three and the number of transaction change quarter to quarter three. In this way, you can see the feature importance. So you can also see the confusion matrix. So after looking at the model in detail, you can go ahead and select deploy. So once you choose deploy, a new table will be created in your workspace where you can see whether the customer will stay with us or whether the customer will churn. I have already deployed and kept the result ready. So this is my final output, the predicted table. So here I have the prediction results. I can see whether the customer would stay with my business or he's going to leave my business. I have the result here in this column. So in this way, you can do prediction. You don't have to write any complex code. You can leverage the existing machine learning models that we have and then do the prediction accordingly. So this is how powerful and easy AutoML is. So we saw extensively how the AutoML works. Now we'll get back to our slide and we look at the next option. The next option is Code Studio. So the Code Studio is for advanced users. So for people who wants to do a complex analysis by writing their own Python script, or people who wants to build their own machine learning model, we give them the flexibility. Let's take a quick look at how the Code Studio works. Just select the Code Studio and then choose Create New. You can either do a data transformation or build your own machine learning model. So I'm selecting the ML model and I'm choosing Create. Now I'm building a model to do a credit analysis. So just type your Python code and save it. You can train this model and deploy it and see how the result is. If you're happy with the result, and then you can save it. This is how you can make use of the Code Studio. So the Code Studio as well as the machine learning model, which is the AutoML, right? The AutoML and the Code Studio, these options are present only in the enterprise version of Zoho Analytics. So being said this, let's move to the next slide. Let's look at Zoho Analytics MCP server. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. It's an open standard introduced by Anthropic in November 2024 to make it easier for AI systems, especially large language models, to connect with tools, data, and services outside themselves. Think of MCP as the USB-C port for AI, a single universal connector that lets AI agents plug into any tool or data source without needing a custom integration each time. In our case, it acts as a bridge between Zoho Analytics and other AI tools. This means AI agents, models, or MCP supported apps like Cloud can directly connect to Zoho Analytics. Once connected, these tools can pull your data, analyze it, and even create reports or insights, all without you leaving the AI tool you're working in. In short, MCP lets Zoho Analytics work hand in hand with your favorite AI assistants, so your data is just a prompt away. Now let's take a quick look at how this actually works. This is my Cloud desktop. In my Zoho Analytics account, I have a workspace called Zoho Analytics MCP demo. Here I have the sales data and the target data. So now within this workspace, I want to create a report using the MCP connection. I want to create a report that shows the region-wise sales. So I'm typing create a chart that shows the region-wise sales. Data is present in Zoho Analytics MCP demo workspace. You can see Cloud now understood the prompt and it performs various actions. As a first step, it runs the get workspace list operation to find out the workspaces. Once it found the workspace, it runs the operation search views to find the table. The cloud found the sales table after a series of operations. Now it runs get view details to understand the columns present in the table. The operation led the AI to find the column region in the sales table. As a next step, it now creates the chart report. Here we have the chart details. So the chart type is bar chart, and we have the region column in the x-axis and the sales column in the y-axis. Now let's take a look at the chart within the Zoho Analytics workspace. Let me refresh this workspace. So here we go. I have the chart built within the tool. Wonderful, isn't it? So without having to leave the cloud desktop, I was able to achieve the result I want. So this is how powerful this MCP server integration is. So now let me stop here. We have come to the end of our presentation today. I hope you found the session to be informative. Now I would love to open the floor for questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to shoot it. I'll be happy to answer. Hope I was able to answer all the questions. If anybody has any further question, feel free to drop an email to support@zohoanalytics.com and we'll be happy to answer your query. So thanks for joining today's webinar. Have a good one. Bye.